Hi, my name is Daylene. Welcome to my sewing room. Come on in. I don't really have any stitchy friends, so I'm pretty excited that you're here. I can show you where the yarn is and the fabric and the ribbons and the trim and the sewing machine and the iron. It's a great room. I'm super grateful. I'm so lucky to have it. I have not always had a sewing room. My husband was in the military for 25 years, so we moved around a lot. And one time he had this, let's be honest, it was a laundry room. The washer, the dryer, the ironing board. And then I got this table, just like a lunchroom table, that I set up as my sewing table. And I tried to decorate, and I tried to put this bulletin board and make it look cute, and it wasn't cute, let's be honest. But the teenage boys never wanted to come in the laundry room, so it was my private little place. So I love that. It was good. This is better. That was good. Anyway, it's a great room. It has all these prayer flags above me, so I'm covered in grace and goodness and prayers all the time when I come in here. And I have lots of colors and lots of things to inspire me. And I'm not inspired all the time, but most of the time when I come in here I am. So anyway, welcome. Thank you for coming. I'm glad you're here. I sort of feel like I want to offer you a cup of coffee, but I can't have one while I'm doing this floss tube video. I don't really know how people do it. They drink coffee, and I would spill it everywhere. And okay, maybe after 10 or 12 floss tubes I'll be more casual and can drink a cup of coffee, but no, I'm uptight, nervous, can't drink coffee. But you can. You could stand over there away from my stuff and drink coffee. There you go. Or sit at home and drink coffee. So I'm from Washington. I have a really great husband. We've been married 36 and a half years. He's a really great guy. He's funny. He's super smart. He's somebody you want to go to lunch with. He's great. He's a good guy. You'd like him. And we have two grown sons who are, of course, take after their dad. They're smart. They're funny. You want to go to lunch with them? They pick wonderful, wonderful wives. Obviously, I wanted to pick the wives for them. I thought I'd be best. Turns out they were pretty smart. They were really smart girls. One's a chef. One's a banker, excuse me. Oh man, they're just so smart and pretty and creative. They're great wives. They're wonderful moms. We have 4 grandbabies. We have 2 girls that live in Alabama and 2 boys that live in California. So since I live in Washington, we send lots of postcards and presents, and we get to Skype, and we get to talk on the telephone. One grandson even called me on a real banana, so I had to talk to him. Mr. Wright took a picture of me talking on a real banana and talking to Mr. Cooper. So I hope he got the connection. He makes me laugh. It's hilarious. Okay. I have a 15 and a half year old golden retriever. Her name is Sweet Liberty, and she's so nice and sweet, and she has really good manners. And she's slowing down a little bit, but that's okay. I'm slow getting out of the chair. I have aches and pains. She doesn't judge me. We're perfect for each other, actually. I have 5 chickens. 5 crazy, lazy chickens. It's a whole long story. I'll have to tell that another time, but let's see, one is 5 years old and still laying these beautiful foamy green colored eggs. I'll have to show you one sometime. Anyway, her name is Ginger. Her sister, she's Ginger. Lovey and Marianne went to heaven. We have Dolly Madison. She's not so pretty. I don't tell her that, but she's not so pretty. Then we have 3 Rhode Island Reds, and their names are Margaret Hatcher. She's a little bit bossy. And we have Dixie Chicks. And then one of the grandchildren named the last one Queen Frostine. So we have a chicken named Queen Frostine. You can tell we were playing Candyland. Wouldn't that be weird if that was your name? Hi, I'm Queen Frostine. This would be kind of good. Kind of weird. Okay. So, the reason I decided to do floss tube, do you ever get that feeling you listen to floss tube for a year or 2 and you take inspiration and you kind of grab some of their happiness and borrow their ideas and think everything they do is wonderful, and you feel like you should give back just a little bit. Well, that's where I've ended up. Yeah. So I feel like, here's my thinking: if I do a floss tube now and then, I won't feel so guilty that I steal ideas that they show us, because some of their ideas are so great. So, okay, I'll show a few things, and if you take a couple of ideas, then neither one of us will feel guilty. So it's like a win-win. Okay, I don't like this whole thing. I don't really get it. I don't like looking at myself in the camera and looking at my hair like, oh, what's going on here? That's not my thing. I don't take selfies. I don't do this. This is weird. This is really weird. I don't like this part. I like the stitching part. Okay, let's just talk stitching, and then we'll just calm down and we'll be able to get through this, okay? Okay, good. Okay. Oh, we could talk about this quilt behind me first. There you go. All right. That quilt is called Rabbit's Paw Quilt. And I learned to quilt a long time ago. 30 years ago, 20 years ago. I don't remember. Anyway, when we lived in Oklahoma, I got invited to join this quilting group. And I went. I was all nervous. And they quilted at a huge quilting frame. So I learned to hand quilt first. That's how I learned to quilt. So this quilt behind me is machine quilted, and it is machine quilted and then machine pieced and then hand quilted. Okay, so, and the way I got those blocks, okay, here's the thing. It's got a great story. Okay, so there's a shop in Sisters, Oregon. The Trading Post, I believe it's called. And anyway, they have this thing where you could pay money and you would get a pattern each month and a little piece of fabric, and then you learned how to do the pattern, and you used the fabric that they told you or where to place it, and then you mailed your piece back into the store. Okay, so then they hung them up in the store on these long strings, and it was really beautiful, and everyone got to see all these beautiful quilt blocks. And sometimes there would be 150, 200 of them. And so then what they would do is, I think at the end of the month, they would take and choose like 24, I think. 24 of the blocks they would take down, and then one person out of that block, they just pull one out, and then they would say that person was the winner. So they would send you those blocks, a piece of the fabric, that happened to be this green or gold color here. I don't know how to do this yet. There you go. It's not green, it's not gold. It's its own unique color. I never would have chosen it, but kind of glad that I got to use it. It kind of stretched me a little bit, so that was good. I liked it. Anyway, I couldn't find a piece of fabric to match the back. I could not find anything that went with it, so I just ended up going totally opposite of the color wheel, and did a purple, and it was fun and happy. And anyway, and then my youngest son, he did all the math to make sure all the triangles would meet up all the way around. We're a homeschooling family, so I was constantly coming up with ways for them to use their math skills. They're smarty pants, so I guess it worked out. Anyway, okay, so one of the blocks that I got was not the pattern. The person didn't do the right thing. They give you directions, they give you the fabric, you're supposed to follow the directions and turn in these really beautiful pieces, and I spent a lot of time on mine. I made sure it was done correctly, and I wanted it to be perfect because you're mailing it to somebody else. I mean, the odds are you winning are very slim, so you're mailing it for somebody else. So you're trying to do your very best work. And anyway, I went through this whole pile, and I was trying to organize them, and there was one I just thought, what am I going to do with this? I want to throw it away. I don't want it in my quilt. I don't want it to ruin it. It won't be neat and tidy and perfect. And so I flipped it over to see the name on the back of it, and it was my name. So obviously I had made a mistake. I wonder if they picked mine because it was wrong, and they noticed it. Okay, anyway, big lesson in not judging others. Okay, yeah. So I wasn't going to put it in the quilt, but I did. I put it in the quilt. It's right smack in the middle. It's a queen size quilt. It's right in the middle. And it reminds me to be kind and nice and humble and not judge people. Yeah, it's kind of the little smack upside the head with a fuzzy slipper that I needed. Anywho, I quilted a little bunny in the bottom of it so we could remember that it's called the rabbit's paw. And it's lots of color and it's beautiful. The quilt across from me is called Goody Goody Gumdrops. It's all oranges and bright pinks and limey greens, and I painted these clothespins orange on the side, and I clipped them up the side, and that's where I stick in little pictures of my grandchildren. So it makes me happy looking at it, and the whole room is just full of color, and it's beautiful. And oh, maybe I could share like a picture of a quilt or something each time. I mean, if people want to see that, maybe they don't. Maybe they just want to do cross stitch, which is fine. That's what I like. I wonder if there's like a floss tube thing for quilters. There should be. That would be good. I mean, it's really good to find other people that cross stitch, so it would be fun to find other people that quilt all the time. Okay, anyway, I digress. Sorry. Okay, let's go to the stitching. That's the best part. Okay, how about previous finishes? I brought one that I finished in 1995. And this was back before I kept track. Nobody else knew cross stitch. Oh no, I don't know how to do this without glare. Oh, that's interesting, huh? No, that's the window. Okay. It was 1995. I don't know who the author is, the designer. It looks like 32 count fabric. It was back before I needed glasses to tell me if it was 32 count fabric, but anyway, there's a rabbit stitched right over here, and I think I remember that this artist always put a rabbit in their sampler pieces. So I might be able to remember. I mean, I have my name, the date. In those days, that's the best I did. So anyway, I remember my kids were homeschooling, and I would sit and cross stitch while they did their homework or read or did their math work, and I would just stitch and stitch and stitch. So anyway, this one reminds me of that. I have the one that I finished that got the most comments. I post things once in a while on Stitch Mania or Strawberry Sampler. That's a shop that's in Pennsylvania, and I've never gotten to go, but the very first time years ago when my husband wanted to teach me how to use the computer, I was not interested at all. I didn't want anything to do with the computer. I didn't play computer games. I didn't want to do it. And he said, I bet you could find a cross stitch site. And I happened upon the Strawberry Sampler, and that was my very first site I ever went to years and years ago. And boy golly, did those girls save my life. I love looking at it. I went every day. It helped me learn the computer. My first order on the computer was for a cross stitch shop, and it was from the Strawberry Sampler. And so I belong to that group online, and I share a picture with them once in a while. So yeah, I'm really grateful. I'm grateful that they were in my life, and my husband was a smarty pants for telling me there was cross stitch people out there. And so I worked on and finished Beth Twist's First I Drink the Coffee sampler. And I put this online, and lo and behold, ooh, there's a lot of glare. Oh, is that okay? I don't know. Anyway, I'm the girl that put the coffee beans down below, real coffee beans inside a shadow box. And I got so many comments saying, that's terrible, it's going to ruin your fabric, and the oil from the coffee beans are going to ruin the threads, and it's going to eat it up, and it's not an heirloom. Okay, this was not an heirloom. This was for fun and for happy, and I loved it. I love the idea of putting the coffee beans in it. It makes me laugh every time I see it. And behind the coffee beans, there's those boxes of cross stitch fabric you can buy at like Joann's. They come in a clear plastic tube kind of thing. And I cut a piece of that out. I used that fabric to teach a neighbor girl how to cross stitch, and I used a piece of that plastic and I put it behind here, so most of the coffee beans are not touching the fabric. But yes, everybody told me that the gases would be inside here and the whole thing will be eaten or what have you, but it's really fun and happy and goofy and silly, and I love that I found this frame for and used a coupon for $12, and I was able to buy this frame and frame it and put it on the wall and enjoy it, and it wasn't in my finished box that I never see. So anyway, I loved doing it. It was fun and happy, and my husband gave this to me, I think for my birthday, the fabric and the threads, and he found it on my wish list. Or I'm telling you, he's a great guy. He's a great guy. So that was really fun. I loved it. So anyway, that was a good finish. Okay, my other one that I just finished is called Letters for Santa, and it's by Brenda Gervais. Okay, it's a pillow, and I finished it into a pillow. And here's the thing: when my granddaughters were visiting, we went to Pike's Place Market, and the littlest girl and I were holding hands, and we jumped off the curb at Pike Place Market, and she landed happily, and I didn't land so gracefully. So a day or two after they left, I had to go to the doctor to have an x-ray, and the doctor's diagnosis was, you should sit on the sofa and cross-stitch and crochet and read library books for 14 days. No, that's what I heard. What she said was, you should sit and elevate it and put ice on it and do nothing. And so I cross-stitched for two weeks. So anyway, I finished this pillow, and I coffee and tea dyed the fabric, the jumbo rick-rack, the pillow ticking, and then I baked it the way Vanna and Chelsea and Priscilla, thank you, all of you ladies. Okay, they didn't say in their directions to bake it too long where it burnt the fabric, and okay, so I might have cooked it a little long, but anyway, it turned out really fun. I used this trim right here. Can you see that trim? It's like kind of fuzzy. Like, I got that from the Lady Dot Creates. They have a lot of trim. They have a lot of selection. You will find something you like there, I'm sure. They do a good job. Okay, so then I dyed this with coffee dye, coffee and tea, so that you can see the snowflakes show up on the darker colored fabric, and the snowman, he shows up. So it turned out really good. And then on the back, I put an envelope so that, okay, this is weird. I'm awkward. Okay, I put an envelope on the back so I could put the copies of my children's letters to Santa, or maybe my grandkids when they start. Maybe I can get a copy of their letters to Santa too. So my husband collects Santa Claus at Christmas time. He has a whole bunch of different ones, and so I thought maybe we could set this in the library with those and put it on one of the chairs near it. So it turned out pretty cute. The reindeer are pretty funny. It's pretty funny. There's like a little carrot for his nose, and okay, that stuff is funny to me. I like it. I think it's good. I think it's really good. Okay, so the project that I'm working on right now, my work in progress. One day I was cooking something in the kitchen, and my husband said, "Oh, is that a whip?" So I was like, "What does that mean to you?" And he said, "A work in progress." And so obviously I used the lingo, and he's catching on. So, all right, the one I'm working on now is by Beth Twist, and it's a heartstring samplery, and it's called Coffee Saves Lives. So, oh, actually I should have showed you the other one that I finished. I can show you that later. All right. Anyway, okay, so this is, how about if I put it on this and then you can see it better. Oops. But I gotta tell you, last night was the night that those corners all matched up perfectly. I was so happy. I wanted to tell someone, so I told the golden retriever, and she looked at me, "Yay, good job, Mom." But those corners matched up beautifully, so that made me really happy. As you all know, you get a good feeling. You get a really good feeling, so that made me really happy. Okay. Oh, and here's a project that I finished, but I haven't fully finished it. It's called Jingle All The Way by Brenda Gervais. Oh, it's the same designer. I must really like her. She does a good job. Okay, wait. Here's the envelope, or the pattern, the picture of the pattern. Okay, those reindeer are funny. That is funny. Alright, anyway, this pattern I did on 32 count, and she suggested 40. And yes, I have really great glasses, I have magnification, I have great lighting, and I don't really remember why I chose to do this on 28 count. But anyway, it just turns out bigger than the little paper mache box that she suggests that you buy at Hobby Lobby or Joann's or what have you. So I ordered a larger box, oval box from Factory Direct Crafts, I think that's what you call it. And so when that comes, I'll paint it and I'll put it on there, and then I'll show you the fully finished thing. But kind of a fun. But it was pretty quick. It was only like 3 days or something, or 4 days. I don't remember. It was very quick and made you feel really happy that you got something finished. Okay, one of the things that I got in the mail, it was like a goodie. I call them goodies. I don't know if other people do. I don't think they do. Anyway, all right. So I got this goodie, and I swore. And okay, it's called Silent Sampler. A couple people, I saw it on, I think on FlossTube, of people doing it. So I ordered the pattern. It's by Rosewood Manor, and it's by Karen Kluba. And I said I would never. I said this out loud to myself and my dog. I would never do another Karen Kluba, because I finished this. You know the one. And the forest grew and grew and grew and grew and grew. Yes. I finished that one. It was my New Year's resolution to finish it by 2018. And it just goes and goes and goes. And I finished it. And I'm so happy, but I haven't framed it. But I will, I promise. I'll have somebody frame it. I don't know. I'll have to save up. Good Lord, that's going to be expensive. Anyway, I was surprised that this is another Karen Kluba. Obviously, I love her, obviously. Okay, so I ordered the thread. I'm going to do this for my New Year's Day start. I try to do a new start I'll show you on New Year's Day. I'll show you the one that I did last year, okay. But this is so pretty. And I just now starting to learn how to use silks, and so I got to try a couple. Anyway, I ordered this. There's this place called Sublime Stitching. It's a place I go for embroidery things and patterns, and she's really nice. She's got some really great embroidery patterns. Anyway, she sells silk threads in packages, and so I got one so I could use it for all these different flowers. So when that comes, I'll show it to you, and I'll tell you how much it costs and all that, so that you could maybe get it too. Yeah, it's really beautiful. It's going to be a nice picture. She does a good job designing. She must really like to do it. It's so pretty. Okay, let's see. That's probably all I have. I have a ton of stuff. I could just talk for hours and hours and hours. Want me to? Oh, here, I'll talk about this. When I was sitting on the sofa, I crocheted this really cool hat with this really cool button that looks like a bit of bling. There you go. It's really fun. Okay, when I give it, I put those hot hand warmers. I put some hot cocoa. I put some marshmallows. So if they think the hat is ridiculous, at least the inside stuff will be good and goodies and happy. And anyway, I taught myself to crochet 2 years ago in February. I just started watching all these YouTube videos, and I learned how to read the pattern, and now I have way too many pieces of yarn, and now I'm trying to find places. What should I do with all this yarn? And so I've been making hats for babies in hospitals I don't even know. So it's kind of fun. It's just a fun, different thing to go really quick. It's really big. I don't have to use really good sewing scissors or glasses. So it's kind of relaxing. And anyway, so that's kind of a fun. So I've been making hats for people for presents. So that's kind of a neat thing. And let's see. Last year, every single day, my husband and I would write on a piece of paper what we're grateful for, and we put it in this big glass jar. And then on New Year's Eve, we dumped the jar out and we read all the things that we were grateful for. And some of them were wonderful for, really great things, or really small things, or a really great dinner or a great restaurant or a new pair of shoes, or my daffodils bloomed, or it snowed, or we saw a great movie. This year, you know, if you have a new grandbaby, you write that down. If your brother-in-law's eye surgery goes well, you write that down. You're grateful. We're grateful for everything. Being grateful makes what you have so much better. It makes it worth it. It makes it so it's enough. It's enough. You don't really feel like you need more and more and more and more. You can just be grateful for the things that you have. So every day I try to write down 3 things that I'm grateful for, and some days I go on and on and on, more than 3, and some are just 3. So anyway, let's see. Okay, I'm grateful for my grandbabies. I'm grateful for library books, because sometimes I check out a cookbook 3 or 4 times before I actually buy it. I don't know. I want to like take it for a test drive or something to see if I want to spend the money. Okay, I'm grateful for this really cool little thing that I made. I sewed a little square fabric out of the bright color fabric I have, and I pinned 3 safety pins to it, and then I just toss it in my dryer. So this time of year, with that static electricity starting, it kind of stops it. It's that polarized South Pole, North Pole thing, and it really cuts down on the static electricity. I'm really grateful that I did it, that I'm using it. It's wonderful. I'm grateful for Mr. Wright, because otherwise I wouldn't have all this nice stuff, and a great wife, and he's fun to go bike riding with, and I don't know, he's great. He's good. He makes my life better. So, and he kind of gently encouraged me to do a floss tube video because he thought it would make me happy, and it kind of does make me happy. So I'm kind of glad that I did it, and now I did one, and so now when I look back, if I do any more, I'll be like, ooh, that first one was a little bit, but anyway. So, thanks for visiting my sewing room. I'm glad you came over. I wish you could come over in real life. But maybe we could do it again. Then I can invite you over and I'll show you some more stuff. It'll be like show and tell, but maybe you could bring some stuff and then we could talk together. And if you can't come over, I'll just watch you on FlossTube and I'll just meet you there. Okay. Thanks for listening. See you next time. Bye.